years, your memories. Lots of good stuff to come. Also, the gorgeous Billie Eilish with Birds of a Feather. Now, it is a year since I sat here just after 10 o'clock, got the news in about the Sycamore Gap Tree being illegally chopped down mindlessly. I mean, just absolutely horrific. We had such an outpouring from everybody. I think I did cry on air. I think, I had loads of people ringing me up, just devastated. And this weekend, people are travelling far and wide to gather together at the stump, which has recently seen signs of regrowth. So we're going for the hope in this story now, including tree hunter Rob McBride from Shropshire, who joins us in the studio. You're so welcome into the studio, Rob. And first of all, I think we better find out what a tree hunter is.
Well, thank you, Anna, for that lovely introduction.
Pleasure.
Tree hunting, that's my wife. Yeah, she says that. What do you do?
What do you do? Yeah.
I chase trees is the easy answer. A lot of the time, in the early days, very briefly, I had a mental health breakdown 20 years ago this year. I was a software engineer and burnt myself out. So the short story is trees saved my life, essentially. At that time, I was in pretty dire straits, shall we say.
Yeah.
So I met a couple of key people, Sean Berkey from Shropshire Council, and then tree professor Ted Green. Sir
That's
Ted
a great
Green.
name, isn't it? For a tree, yeah.
He's 90 now, and I've just been chatting to him before about sycamores and that. But I met those people, inspired, and really the benefits, you cannot emphasize the benefits of being in the greenery with trees, physical exercise and greenery. And I've just been to a conference on urban trees, and like Newcastle, I've just seen coming in, it's got some fantastic urban street trees already.
We do have. I am a lady that hugs trees, so you're in the right place. I love to hug a tree. Some people laugh at me, but some people get me. So, and we talk about mental health a lot on this show, and we talk about the importance of getting out and the importance of nature, and it does entirely change the way that you feel. Notwithstanding, people obviously have to have treatment and things also, but it does. It's a brilliant thing. It's a wonderful thing that's right there for us if we take care of it.
Well, that's the big thing, taking care. And sadly, you were talking about how you reacted. I was in a bus queue at Charleroi Airport in Brussels. I was going to give my first talk in Brussels, or first talk actually of how to look after trees, campaigning to save trees. Oh. I got off the aeroplane, BBC rang, Sycamore Gap's been cut down. So I did a live interview in the bus queue, and later did a Sky News Zoom interview, and I was like devastated.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've just rushed up this morning from Shropshire at 5 a.m. and visited the tree. My heart still, I didn't realise it was pretty early to get there.
Oh.
But
what did it feel like there this morning?
I got there on my own, because there's a lot of people going up there today.
Yeah.
I got there on my own, and I just had a minute, and you do your social media-y thing, but I thought, I'm trying to get in ahead, because I say I've had mental health problems, so obviously somebody's had a big issue, but this may be more of a grievance felling. You can't go in.
Nobody knows. We don't know the why, do we?
You can't go into it.
No.
But we've suffered, where I live recently, a grievance felling. Some landowner got upset with another fella, and the tree was on a footpath and said it was dangerous. 250-year-old oak tree, boom, gone.
It's devastating. It is devastating, and it has such a deep impact. And you've actually commissioned a song. You're so passionate about this. You've commissioned a song about how you feel about trees. And is this about Sycamore Gap and another one?
The Darwin Oak, Charles Darwin's oak tree in Shropshire and Shrewsbury. Wow. I'm taking a 108,000 petition to number 10 on the 7th of October. And, Bryony Bree, as she's known, fantastic artist, a friend of my daughter's, and she did this song, and I must admit, it's a long intro, but I was literally in tears. I don't mind.
Well, let's have a little listen. In this world we were given, there are times that we forget we are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed to have for the leaves, for the earth that we walk, for the trees. We must never ever forget. is this? Because it's really contemporary.
It gets me every time, that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is really, really beautiful. So it's the idea that this song gets a bit of traction on socials and everywhere, and it's called, is it called Bry Save the Trees?
Save the Trees by Bryony.
Yeah.
Bryony, her name is.
Bryony, Save the Trees.
Save the Trees.
So that gets a bit of traction, and then you go down to Parliament.
Yeah, to number 10. I don't know, you won't be in, I doubt.
No, you never know.
Mind you, it's better than the other lot that were there, but we won't get into that.
We're impartial.
Well,
We're impartial,
so,
Rob.
Unless you're getting on a bit. But.
So, Steve, it says in Washington, says, Rob, all I see in my social housing estate is trees being chopped down because they're blocking light in living rooms. Is there anything that can be done? Because trees are really, really important in social housing.
Right tree in the right place. And I'm going to make a terrible admission on area. I planted a tree 20-odd years ago before I was into trees. Wrong species in the wrong place. And I'm in the process of taking it down. I climbed up the other day. 12 metres is a bit high. So I've got to take it down. You've got to have the right tree in the right place. So,
yes, absolutely, that's true, because you need light in your life, but also you need the trees in your life as well. So when you were there this morning, tell us about what happened this morning.
Well, that was weird, really. People from Canada, a group of fantastic ladies, Susie and her friends, come from Vancouver. They're walking Hadrian's Wall. Tim and Tracy from Cambridge, and they were coming out. I said, because I interviewed them, how do you feel about this? Devastated, sad, sickened, horrendous, all these, adjectives that came out. And, I felt exactly the same, and can't get in the head of the people who did it. I don't know.
Was there a sense of hope there as well, though? Because I felt that from everybody that we're chatting to, did you see the little
you would call it coppicing, like coppicing trees. You cut trees, but you don't normally cut a tree that's that diameter to get to coppice. It's a sustainable woodland management technique, like pollarding for street trees, etc. So it is regrowing. I've took loads of photos of the new leaves, so there's hope there. And while we're talking about leaves, I've brought you a mono-printed present of a sycamore leaf I did last night.
That is absolutely beautiful. I will treasure that. Thank you so much. That is gorgeous.
It's my called Designs in Mind. It's a mental health art group. So I was referred to it a couple of years back when I had an issue.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's so good.
Oh, that is so lovely. Producer Laura's smiling because she knows these are all my favourite things. We're chatting mental health, we're chatting nature, and I think hope for the tree, but also let's very briefly, if you don't mind, Rob, if it's not too personal, ask about hope for you as well with your mental health. How are you doing now?
Yeah, pretty good. Tremendous, I would say.
And you were in a very dark place, and you're not
20 years ago, horrendous, I wouldn't want to go into that, but and these fellas have done an awful thing. 20 years ago, I did a couple of awful things. Didn't chop any trees down, luckily. But people, I don't know.
People get into a terrible space, don't they?
One of the big things I've learnt over these last few years, especially, is the lack of protection for trees in this country. Heritage, the Sycamore Gap Tree is a heritage tree. It's a total celebrity, as we would say, and there's no protection. I've given Claire on reception a card of a tree that would fill this studio. It's got no protection. It's 1,000 years old. So
if people want to find out more, then Robin, more about the work that you do and want to help you, where can they go? Well,
you can Google BBC Tree Hunter and see one of my projects, or Instagram @TheTreeHunter. But essentially, go to the Woodland Trust, the Living Legends campaign, and sign their petition, and you will see things like a park. I've come past a park today with benches. If you go to Historic England website and Google park benches, you will find 7,000 or more park benches, grade 2 listed, that have more protection than a 1,000-year-old oak tree or the Sycamore Gap Tree.
So let's change that.
We've got to change it. It's got to be changed.
Well, Rob, thank you so much for coming in. Deeply touched by our sycamore print. That's absolutely beautiful. And you can find Rob at The Tree Hunter.
Thank you, and I've just got to say I'm off to Sunderland to see Bobby Joblin, my old army mate, and my family, because we lived in Peterlee in 1966.
Oh, wow.
My brother had trials for... I know I'm in the wrong city.
No, we're very much Sunderland, Newcastle here.
He had trials for Sunderland. He didn't make it. Played football with Jim Baxter, but my dad was born 10 yards from Roker Park, and was one of the first Busby babes. Played football in the Second World War with Matt Busby, Tommy McBride.
Gosh, well, I tell you something. We'll let you be an honorary. You're an honorary Northeasterner. Thank you very much, Rob, for being here. Thank you.
Pleasure.
BBC Radio Newcastle is the sound of the North East. This is Go West, king of wishful thinking. What a lovely man. Really nice to chat to Rob. Rob McBride there, who is from Shropshire, known as the Tree Hunter. You can find him on the socials at the Tree Hunter. Brilliant man.